This is a professional environment. Hey! Stop it!
Another day about the Waffle House shit got hella poppin'. One lady started talking that shit like she really wanted problems. She said that the workers were working too slow. She needed the food cause she had to go. She got super angry and started to shout. So Wendy gave her a 3-piece on the house. Yeah. Go Wendy, I get why they mad, yeah. They just found out for Christmas all you be serving is both of them hands, yeah. Wendy, she ain't gonna back down, her homie just pulled a pen out, so your little plans ain't gon' pan out, bitch. John Cena with the smackdown. Why you think they got this type of application? And the store should get launched like an application. If you're not with the shits like your name is Wendy, shit, you're not really a fit, go apply it Wendy. Run up on Wendy, boy, you better just surrender. Featherweight contender whipping up them chicken tenders. Mama lit the way she kept it cool with the aggressors. Even Iron Man is trying to bring her onto the...
I'll admit it. I'm not letting my kids die. I'm somebody that thought I could fix this, and I'm starting to think about having to eat my neighbor. I'm gonna haul him up by a chain. I will eat your ass. I'll do it. You think I like sizing up my neighbor? Gonna chop his ass up. My children are going hungry. I will eat your ass. I'll eat your ass. I'm literally looking at my neighbors now going, I will eat your ass. Eat your ass. Eat your ass. My superpower is being honest, and I will eat your ass. I will eat your ass. Eat your ass. That's why I want the globalists to know. I will eat your ass. I will eat your ass. Eat your ass. I've extrapolated this out, and I will eat your ass.
I learned a lot, and I learned that I learned a lot. Anyway, Bo is associated here. Anyway, the point I want to make is I learned so much. I learned so much. I learned
black, white, all colors, all backgrounds. But I mean, come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight, everyone deserves a shot. You know, come on, man. You know the thing. You know what I mean? You know the thing. You know what I mean? Come on, man. What I have to do is I have to continue talking about the things that come on, man.
I came down here because I remember the first bumper sticker I saw. I learned that I got hairy legs that turned blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight and then watch the hair come back up again. So I learned about kids jumping on my lap. I love kids jumping on my lap.
Oh, I'm in trouble. What are we, nuts? Dead. You know, come on, man. Give me a little break here. Get a life.
Taking cocaine or not? What do you think? Huh?
Come on, man. Black, white, all colors, all backgrounds. But I mean, come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight, everyone deserves a shot. You know, come on, man. You know the thing. You know what I mean? You know the thing. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black. Come on, man.
The Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
I can hardly wait to meet with that guy who is the stable genius. Come on, man.
I am very willing to let the public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Come on, man. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Wealthy kids.
Come on, man. I mean, come on. Take a look at the record. I know a lot of weed smokers. Come on, man. Black, white, all colors, all backgrounds. But I mean, come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight, everyone deserves a shot. You know, come on, man. You know the thing. You know what I mean? You know the thing. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Why the hell would I take a test? I am,
And strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. Angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. They're coming here from Africa, from South America. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory.
a motherfucking mukbang. We got a beef taco. Santa Fe, right?
Wake up. Wake up. It's propaganda. It's propaganda. It's an e-girl in military uniform. It's propaganda. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
This is a rule. You know, the rules of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out.
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that, Hassan Piker. I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house. Or in the ring. No, in real life.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these things they simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Whose Sailor Moon shirt? Why, mine, of course. It's a little tight.
Oh, of course you watch Progression. You know skill, dumb YouTube commenter, idiot.
I'm taking all your spell zones. Every
one. Take them. I don't need them.
Go.
End of main, dumbass.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, nice deck.
Spent
idiot.
all match complaining and had the rock
The deck
in
is
hand.
bullshit.
Completely
it's bad.
saw through
It's
that
a bad
bluff,
deck,
by the
but
way.
it's still
Did
bullshit.
Hillary teach you
Skill
that
issue.
one, you liar?
Open wide, kids, because I'm going to grape you in the mouth.
You're relaxed and feeling good. Yeah. Next thing that you know, you're saying, whoa! Octopus in my neighborhood.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Comic Crow. How you guys doing tonight? Vic, what are you up to, man?
Not much. Just finishing watching Law and Order, and was watching Reenie's stream before hopping on here.
Wait, whose stream?
Oh, Reenie. Reenie draws.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, I'm surprised you don't. Well, can't say you don't.
I'm not surprised. You know, because the thing is, this is the Comic Crow show. We only have a little bit of time here together as a family. Like, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe. But yeah, we got a few things to talk about tonight. And I obviously I've got the twit longer pulled up from the Kwite accuser, and I will be digging into that one pretty heavily. But
is that what we're starting off with?
Well, no, we're starting off with this story here. So, have you seen this clip?
Is it the Liam Neeson one?
No. Liam Neeson one's pretty bad, but no, this is.
I'm looking at this one. I'm just like, oh, this is starting to remind me of that Views clip I saw earlier.
Yeah, this is Joy Behar saying that the people in East Palestine got what they deserved.
Ooh,
yeah.
Now
that's he goes like that's
he got personally attacked.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? There's this regulation that they say Trump drew back on. I've heard the counter argument, which is it wouldn't have affected this situation here. This is completely different. But either way, right? Either way, Trump's been out of office for what, two plus years now. At this point, you know, if it was such a big deal, if it was such a bad thing that he had done, Biden's had all this time to reverse it. And I mean, it doesn't even seem like that's what caused this problem. You had the governor in Pennsylvania and the governor in Ohio, I guess both sign off on just blowing up this 2-mile long train that was just like full of toxic chemicals. This has caused a massive ecological disaster in East Palestine. And the response, and this is what I mean about like the way that they treat these people in this town, like they're dirt and garbage and they don't matter. Pete Buttigieg, who's the Secretary of Transportation, this is literally his field.
Qualifications.
It doesn't matter. This is his field. He doesn't talk about it until 10 days after the fact, right? No response, nothing from his office. And then everything else is like PR. He's in East Palestine. I think he was either today or yesterday. and he gets approached by a reporter asking questions, and he runs away. And it's like, this is really fucked. The federal government is refusing to provide them FEMA support. They're not providing them with any federal support whatsoever. To my understanding, like Red Cross, nothing. Nobody's there helping these people. They tried to kind of bury this and pretend it wasn't a big deal. They were telling people that it was safe to go back into their homes, and it's like you can clearly tell that it's not safe. You cannot drink the water, you cannot eat the food, and all of the plants and animals are dying in the area. People should not be living in those homes, but it's so fucked that they're not even willing to like relocate these people. People pointed out that in the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, the Russian government paid to relocate people. Now, obviously, it probably wasn't the best relocation terms. I mean, this is, the communist Russian government. But even they had the decency and the common sense that when they caused an ecological disaster, they didn't just keep the people in their homes and ignore them and pretend like this wasn't a big deal. This is how this whole thing started. And there was a blackout. They arrested journalists trying to report on it pretty early on. But the story just broke out because, you have social media. And this is the thing, because obviously I'm not happy with Elon Musk when it comes to the whole situation with Eliza Blue. But if Elon Musk didn't have the platform right now, East Palestine would have never trended on Twitter. That's how bad this. Oh, absolutely. They've tried to control the flow of information out of that area, and it's pretty crazy. And I'm sure this is not actually sinister, but they had five climate scientists or whatever going to the area. Not climate scientists, but something. They're going to go to the area and inspect the water readings or whatever. And their plane crashed out of the sky. And it's like, look, I mean, that's just tragedy on top of tragedy. But you can just, you know that they have not treated this situation like it mattered. This whole train, this was over 2 weeks ago, from what I remember. They are only recently, very recently, starting to cover it in mainstream media. And it's like, the reason why I think that they kind of couldn't ignore it anymore is Trump's like, oh, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to give them water. And it's like,
did he actually say that?
He did it. He actually did it. He went down there and he brought them water. And it's like,
and they're going to try to cover every bad press about it.
Well, here's the thing. One of the people on The View, and I don't want to name the entire panel there, because look, I think they're all
fuck
dumb.
them regardless. All of them are disgusting.
I think they're all dumb. But you have the one lady, and she's like, I don't care who's bringing the water to them. They need water, right? They literally need bottled water. You cannot drink the fucking water in the area. That's how bad it is.
About regulations for a second. Because it seems to me that the Republicans are obsessed with this notion of the free market, and they don't like a lot of regulations.
Because it means profit. When you deregulate, you get profit.
But I know.
Part of deregulation,
for example, there were very few plane crashes. Thank God. And that's because the industry is highly regulated. We have to pay for regulations and safety standards. Otherwise, where are we? We're all going to go up and...
Okay, she's actually starting to sound smart and making sense, though. That's the funny part.
No,
and they're trying to argue against that?
Well, she's saying that, because they deregulated the industry, that led to these problems. And her thing is, I don't think she's wrong there.
I don't think she is either.
I think that you need a balance, because I do think that there are many things that are overregulated, and there are certainly things that, we just don't even talk about, right?
Yeah, but it's like checks and balances, man. Things need to be regulated, some things don't need to be regulated.
But here's the thing. Here's the problem with Joy Behar's entire thing here in this clip. She's just trying to point the finger at somebody and make it out that, it's not her fault. It's not Democrats' fault. It's not Biden's fault. It's those evil Republicans. And these people live in Trump land. They voted for this. That's her mentality on it. And
blame Republicans for everything bad.
Well, her co-hosts correct her, and they're like, "Hey, the fucking railroad lobby is massive, and they donate massive amounts of monies to both parties. That's why they've been deregulated, because they know whose pockets to fucking grease."
Yeah, I mean, look at California. What happened to that train system?
She's gonna say it right now.
Flames.
Norfolk Southern gives as much to Democrats as Republicans. It's a very powerful lobby that is trying to block regulation. And this train, to Sarah's point, 2 miles long with 2 full-time employees and a trainee on it. This
And
is
they
something
didn't
that
even
could wipe
need
out an
to,
entire
because the last administration rolled it down to only one worker. They happened to have 2.
One thing I just want to say is I do think this was an unforced error by President Biden. It was 20 days before we had Secretary.
Yeah, calling out Biden on something. That's never unheard of on a biased TV show.
Well, so again, here's the thing. You can point to Trump and you can point to Republicans and say, well, you're not in favor of regulations, which is true. And you can say, well, and Trump has deregulated certain things, which is also true. Okay.
Yeah,
and I think
I don't think he should have.
Well, yeah, and I think it's fair to criticize on that, right? I think the main problem that you're running into here is Joy Behar just wants to assign blame. And there's an active fucking problem here. And that's her main goal. It's assign blame. It's the Republicans. That's all. That's the big deal. And the co-host is correcting, going like, hey, wait, hold on. This is a both party problem. This is a big deal. And there's a disaster that's happened here. And this is why people are looking at Biden and going, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And Joy Behar is going to fight back against it. It's going to be great.
Buttigieg go down 10 days before he put out a statement acknowledging it.
Yeah.
This is Trump country. He won by 40 points. He is a president for all Americans. I believe that, but he needs to show that he is. It was time for him to be.
I don't know why they would ever vote for him, for somebody who, by the way, he placed someone with deep ties to the chemical industry in charge of the EPA's Chemical Safety Office. That's who you voted for in that district. Donald Trump, who reduces all safety. He did.
They showed up at McDonald's in those votes.
Of course.
I love that stuff.
Something on the ground.
To look voted for in that district. Donald Trump.
Even the fucking audience is like, whoa. This is here's the thing. You have to look at who's in charge now, and they're the ones who are responsible for fixing the problem. Even if you want to say,
look at it. How long has Biden been in office for now?
Well, he's been in office for this is year 3, right? You can certainly say, hey, the previous administration left me with these problems, and that's all fine and that's all fair, right? When you're 3 years in, it becomes a little fucking old, but still, you could say that, hey, because Trump did this, this is why this happened. Okay, fine. What are you going to do to solve the problem right now? There is a disaster and you've been ignoring it. This is the problem when you go and start pointing fucking fingers. It's like, sure, fine. We can go ahead and argue over who's to blame. At the same fucking time, you're in fucking charge and these people are living in a fucking death zone. Mm-hmm. You need to do something. That's it. You can sit there and point fingers. Do something about the fucking death zone. The literal death zone that you created. God, this woman sucks. Actually, have you seen some of these videos?
From The View?
Not for, oh, well, I mean, yeah, sure, there's The View. Hold on, though. Let's see if we can find some.
Which videos are you referring to?
The videos of, the water.
Oh, no, I haven't. Is it disgusting?
Dude, it is nasty.
How nasty are we talking? Flint water crisis is nasty?
Worse.
Worse than Flint? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, there's a video of someone just taking a stick and running it along the water, and you see all of the chemicals coming out in this kind of rainbow glossy sheen.
Oh.
Yeah, here's another one. It's not as good as the I don't know. Maybe she said some other stupid shit there, but I don't think I wanted to keep listening to it. Look at the water in East Palestine.
What did they throw in there?
Do you see the chemicals coming up?
Wow. Oh, that rainbowish stuff?
Yeah, look at it.
It's all in the bottom of the creek bed.
So this is the thing. It's not like the chemicals, and the chemicals aren't just in the water, okay? It's seeped into the soil. It's seeped into the creek bed. Everything there is fully contaminated. So when you look at the water, if you just take a passing glance at the water, you'll probably say like, oh, it looks like regular water. If you touch it, if you disturb the water in any way, you get all of the chemicals coming to the surface. If you scrape up the bed of the creek, of the river, all of the chemicals come gushing out like this. I have no clue. Oh, sorry. But honestly, I have no clue what you do to fix this. This land is completely fucking poisoned now. They didn't care, okay? This is a town of like 4,000 people, less than that, something about there. They don't care about them. These people vote like fucking, they're MAGA Republicans. So they treat them like they're fucking garbage. They poisoned their fucking home. And they have no intention to fix any of it. Wow. This is disgusting. I'll keep playing it. This is fucking nasty, though. It's not like a little bit. Like it's everywhere.
And where is this again?
East Palestine, Ohio.
Damn.
She chucked a rock, and look at all the chemicals that started to show up and come out.
But they burned all the chemicals off of there, right?
That's what I heard, yeah.
Burn off the chemicals? I don't believe it.
That's what they claimed. They blew up the truck, and then they were like, oh, but we burned off all the chemicals, so it's fine. You're safe to go back into your homes. They lied to these people and told them to basically just go fucking die. Like, bro,
I'd hate to live in Ohio right now.
Bro, can you imagine the long-term health problems these people are going to have? And you know what's really fucked up? They went down to the town and had them sign releases if they wanted aid, right? If you want aid, you agree not to sue the fucking government or the railroad industry or any of this shit. It's like,
fuck off.
Yeah, dude, it's completely fucked. But look at this. This is where they burned it. Do you see everything going out?
Yeah, breaking news tonight of a plane.
Even then, that sounds dangerous, burning it into the air. We breathe that.
Yeah. East Palestine toxicology test relies on controversial consulting firm accused of serving corporate interests rather than public health. The company hired by Norfolk Southern has already persuaded 340 residents to sign agreements that reportedly waived their legal rights in the aftermath of Ohio's train crash. Can you imagine that? They've killed these people. They've killed them, and they want them to shut the fuck up.
Wow. And you wonder why they don't trust the government.
I mean, look, the whole situation is just completely fucked. They don't care about these people. They've lied. They tried lying to everybody. They're lying to those people. They're trying to get them to sign these agreements so that they won't get sued. It's like, man, and the thing is, Biden's in charge, and Biden just don't give a shit. And the only reason why Pete Buttigieg even went down there is because Trump announced that he was going to go down to East Palestine. Literally, that is it. Pete Buttigieg went down to East Palestine after Trump announced he was going to go. after Trump announced he was going to go, right? Because it makes them look bad. It makes them.
I mean, they already look bad. It'll make it
well, yeah,
worse.
it makes them look worse. It makes it look worse. Oh, dude, it's a whole just completely fucked situation. And so I don't know if there is anything that can actually be done. Hold on, let's see. This is Pete Buttigieg talking to a reporter. It's a turning points. That's the right-wing people.
Mayor Pete, why did it take you an entire 2.5 weeks to actually get here to respond to East Palestine? Will you apologize to the residents of this city for the slow response to the government's response? Do you have any apology?
I'm a press person. I can help you.
Sure. So can we ask why?
Yeah, of course you don't.
Almost 3 weeks to get here.
I'm sorry, I don't want to do this on camera.
What was his personal time?
Wow, dodging the question.
You guys off
And can we
camera.
also ask too why he waited until President Donald Trump came here to actually make an appearance? This is a very important question that people
Again, dodge the questions.
I do not want to be on camera.
Well,
Please put your cameras away.
I'm sorry, we're on a public area, so we are allowed as press.
You guys, I would like you guys to turn your cameras off.
You're
and
not
then
on
I'm
my
happy-
camera.
Well, I'm on a camera. I would like your cameras to be off, and then I'm happy to talk to you guys.
Well, if you're the press secretary of the Department of Transportation, don't you think you should be able to ask questions from the American public that you serve?
Absolutely. I would like to do it without the camera on.
Can I ask why?
I think that is a little bit aggressive. That's why. And
Why
I just
is it
want you to have-
aggressive?
It-
I'm on behalf of the American people. I'm just asking why he has not been here until Donald Trump
She's
came.
asked them. She's asked several times for them to turn the camera.
You know, so here's my problem with this whole thing, right? I personally don't care, because if they turn the cameras off, okay, and you say something stupid, you'll just say that you never said it. If they turn the cameras off and you act aggressive towards them, you'll accuse them of lying. And since you're the press secretary for the Secretary of Transportation, you have more authority than they do. You have more clout than they do. And I'm fully aware of how these people like to use that. So it's like, I would never turn my camera off. But if you're talking to someone, like a politician, right? We're talking about politicians. Anyone related to that politician in their circle, right? Like an employee of them, and they tell you to turn a camera off, make sure you turn more cameras on. Make sure you have more cameras on. Because there's a reason why they don't want you to film them. But they're politicians, and their job is lying. And the people that work under them, their job is to lie even more. If press secretary doesn't want to talk to the press, no, she'll talk to them.
Wow.
She'll talk to them just with the cameras off. With the cameras off. She's asked multiple times. She's very uncomfortable now. Fucking press secretary.
Cameras off, and they will not do it.
That's been able to walk away. Would you like to go inside? I do not. I will walk this way.
Can I ask what the secretary is going to do with the picture of Jenny Kerr? He took her the other day when she was asking a question on Washington, D.C.
I'm happy to answer your questions. I would like you guys to not have your cameras on.
I had my camera up a minute ago. If I turn it off,
You all have your cameras on. I can see them. You guys, I'm happy to have this conversation.
All right, y'all. So we are with the press secretary
this-
for and right now we are being told that we are not supposed to be
That's
filming.
great.
Again, we are here on behalf of the American public because
Oh,
we would like
I
to
remember her.
have the conversation.
You know, I gotta say that is clever. It's clever for several reasons. One, at this point, you know she's not going to talk to you anyways, so you're really just doing this because you're showing how uncomfortable she is getting, and the more you try to frame it around her, the more uncomfortable she gets. Yeah, no, it is smart, and for Savannah, I think is the person here. It's incredibly smart for her and advantageous for her. Yeah, Savannah Hernandez, thank you. It's incredibly smart and advantageous for her because now her face is on the camera with the press secretary who's refusing to answer questions on camera. You know, it's smart on several levels. One, you're putting her even more in the spotlight, and you're showing how uncomfortable she's getting when being asked questions. and she jumped in to stop them from asking questions of Pete Buttigieg. Like, she jumped in and said, hey, I'm the press secretary. I can answer your questions. And the moment they turned the camera onto her, that's when she wanted the cameras turned off. So to me, that's someone who's actively trying to stop that man from answering questions. Now she doesn't want to answer questions either. If they turn the cameras off, I think more than likely she would have said something very nasty to them, right? Like gentle intimidation.
And we would like to ask the question as to why, again, it took almost 3 weeks for Pete Buttigieg to be here on the ground. He waited until Donald Trump came here to actually be here and speak to residents. The people here have been quite tight-knit about when we can ask questions. And again, we're here on behalf of the American public, and we wish we could be able to ask these questions, but for some reason, you know, we're not allowed.
Wow, that says a lot.
I mean, here's the thing. We're not talking about, I'm saying here's the thing a lot, but, you know, we're not talking about a, you know, controversy. We're not talking about a sex scandal. We're not talking about, you know, Biden having another, you know, brain fart or something stupid like that. We are talking about probably one of the worst ecological disasters in modern history in the United States. It's you have poisoned an entire fucking town of people, right? Like you poisoned an entire town of people. There's really nothing worse than, I mean, there are worse things that you can do, surely, but like this is pretty high up on the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
You turned a town of people in your own country into a fucking toxic death camp. The ground itself is poison. Oh man. I bro, like fuck. And they just like you have to answer questions. You have to answer fucking questions. Man, I can't. I can't. Oh dude. Kwite is fucking trending again. Azov Battalion is trending for some reason.
Oh, okay. What did you want to talk about that now?
Wait, what did they do this time?
No,
Well,
I'm just curious.
what did those silly Nazis do this time?
Oh yeah. So here's the thing. Do you know the background behind this story? Because I never heard of this thing until like Sen and you started mentioning it. Do you know? What's this about?
Wait, the Azov Battalion? Okay, so the Azov
Or
Battalion
in the Kwite
is
stuff.
Oh, good. Yeah, because there's a video here. I'm not gonna play the video because I can't, because it gets graphic if you play it longer. These are the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian Azov Nazi military, tying people to posts and then pulling off their clothes and leaving them there naked in the street. I mean, dude, these people are fucking evil.
That's really fucked. Wait,
Oh yeah,
but why though?
Well, look, dude, you know, I this is the thing. I can't really speak about it because of YouTube rules and everything. But the main issue you have is that there are violent people that exist in that military, and there's no oversight at all whatsoever going on. And you're seeing kind of like atrocities happening. And I'm not saying like the Russians are good guys or anything. It's just like,
No. But
dude,
we can't ignore there are some Ukrainians that are evil either.
Well, war makes decent people into monsters. Okay. And when you already have monsters, you know, the Azov Battalion being like actual Nazis, when you already have monsters and then you throw those monsters into war, I mean, bro, you get straight up demons. Like, I don't know any other way of saying it. So it's like, I've seen those videos, and Yeah, like I hear the other argument. It's like, well, they're being invaded. So I was like, yeah, but man, they're doing it to their own people. Like they're doing it to the people in Ukraine that are living there because they're not like, doing what the fucking Azov battalion is telling them to do. What do you do about that? Like you just fucking like you can't you can't really do much in terms of that conflict because you're prohibited from talking about it because I gotta say it, but it's like if you look at the YouTube rules, like you can get into a lot of trouble if you criticize or I guess more like if you support Russia. I think that's the big one that does it. But the way those rules read, I think you can get punished if you're openly criticizing the war too much. But I'm like, man, I can see what's going on there, and I don't think there's any conflict that the United States has ever been involved in that hasn't involved us doing very, very disgusting and underhanded things.
Yeah,
especially
we're not Saint Ida with our history. We fucked over countries in the past.
Yeah, like bro, if you look at like everything's happened in the Middle East, and then you're looking at what's going on in Ukraine, I get why it's going on. Okay, it's got nothing to do with Ukraine independence. It's about the natural resources in Ukraine. It's about them not wanting Russia to control the gas flow in Europe. They want they want to cut Russia out. Russia's not falling in line. They want to cut them out. I get it. It's leading to conflict. I'm not saying Russia's are good people, but man, when you look at some of the stuff that the Ukrainians are doing there, it's like, I mean, you're kind of watching like just depraved behavior, nasty shit. But if you criticize it, people jump in and they like try to say that you're pro Russia, you're pro Putin, or you're spreading you're spreading propaganda. And I'm like, man, these people are just they're trapped, right? They're trapped. They want war, they want blood, they want fighting, they want to win. It's like, man, you're gonna watch like a whole sea of dead people, and then later on they're gonna act like, oh, they had nothing to do with any of it. Yeah, some really fucked up people in the world. Just some really, really screwed up, fucked up people in the world. Not much you can do about it, honestly.
Yeah.
There are bad people on both sides. I mean, yeah, look, that's pretty true, right? That's pretty true. But I just, you got to be honest about what's going on. You got to call out shit like that. And if you don't, then, I mean, you know what you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
Back me up, Vic.
I mean, you're right. You said it pretty solid right there. I mean, what do you think I should add on to it that you already haven't?
Wait, what?
He said back you up.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate it. So that's not why I was saying that.
Oh,
I'm getting some stuff pulled up.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh boy. But either way, so is it related to the Kwite stuff?
Yeah. So okay. So let's talk about the Kwite stuff. Okay.
Yeah. No. Am I giving me a general background just because I'm going in this blindfolded because I have no idea what this is about?
I mean, we can read through the twit longer. It's impressive. Okay.
Oh, is that where you learned it from?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not very long.
Right. But who is this Kwite?
He's a YouTuber.
Oh, a YouTuber.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll pull up his channel. Give me a second. I know I should have had it already pulled up, but I was being lazy.
Kwite. Oh, he's a YouTuber with 1.85 million subs. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He's the guy that does the videos with a hoodie and a face mask on.
Oh, I had no idea. So he's basically
this guy.
Listen, man, would you?
Okay.
Yeah, look, I haven't watched his content either. Like, I personally just don't really care about that so much.
So he's just basically a different version of Ask a Gangster.
I guess, like, again, I haven't really watched his content. I was told he was commentary. So, I mean, I guess you have that, but I really don't know. Anyways, let me pull up the accuser's Twitter account. Because I want to go back to their original post here. Okay, I refuse to be silent any longer. Read here. There's a twit longer. And we'll go through it. But she posted this. It's an IMGer. I don't know what do you call these, Vic? What do you call it? IMGUR. IMGer. Whatever. Anyways, it's a place that you post a bunch of pictures to. Okay, and as we can see here, required also. What are your family doing while we hang? Because if they are out, hotel room empty. We'll see. Come on, sheets, no good, bro. The looks part, us meeting up is fine. Who can I tell we're dating to? If you trust them to keep it secret, I trust your judgment. Probably keep it to people I know as well, though, unless you're really close with them. Then I get it. Oh, changing it or something. Is it good? Neutral for a mascot? Yeah. This is their conversation. This is all the accuser has shown. Okay? The accuser is not accusing him of being a groomer. They're not saying Kwite took advantage of them when they were a minor. They're both legal adults. There's nothing of that nature going on. So what you're looking at are messages showing a pretty friendly and cordial interaction. I say friendly and cordial. I mean, look, they're talking about hooking up and fucking, right? This is not abusive. This is not emotionally manipulative. This is the screenshots that the accuser gave to back up their story. Okay? Let's go into their twit longer. Here we go. I did a video on this, and I think I said it pretty well in my video, but you're going to see me bring up a few things here and maybe a couple more that I didn't get to really go into. Hello, I never felt that I could come out about this, and I have struggled with this for years. Oh, hold on, Vic. You got some background noise. I'm going to mute you for a second just while I read this.
Okay, hold on.
Hey, Gigi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I just had to deliver some meds to my sister tonight before I came on.
Oh, is she doing okay?
Yeah, she's doing fine. I had to give her shots and whatnot.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, I'm glad you're here, man. Are you going to be able to stay on tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm reading through the twit longer right now, but I already showed the screenshots she provided. So just to give you a rundown, in the screenshot she provides, it's just friendly conversations about hooking up, about how they're dating, et cetera, et cetera. That is it. There's nothing negative. There's nothing about him being mean. There's nothing about the accuser feeling uncomfortable. Nothing.
No transphobia?
No transphobia.
Okay. Well, it's pretty much situation normal, all fucked up at this point.
All right. Sorry, guys. A little bit coffee. Hello. I never felt that I'd come out about this, and I've struggled with this for years before writing this, and I doubt it'll be anything close of years after I write this that this will ever be released. But someone should have proofread this, because that sentence was a jumble. But in the case that you are reading this, I have to come out and lay what has happened to me. I was raped by a man known as the YouTuber Kwite in February of 2018 and had been in an extremely toxic friendship, on and off relationship with him since 2017. To start in the beginning, I had found Kwite's channel when it had less than 500 subscribers, and as a teenager wanted to make art for him. Okay, so one thing that bothers me, right, and it's up here really. she's accusing him of rape, okay? And also says that they had been in a very extremely toxic friendship and on and off relationship since 2017. In the text messages that they provide, we don't see any of that, right? This is an extremely toxic relationship. I mean, I don't doubt it, right? I really don't doubt it, but those messages just show them being very casual with each other, and there's nothing in there that implies there is anything wrong. So I like when I look at those messages, all it proves is that they knew each other, and that's it. Let's see here. Because he didn't use his face in his videos, I thought he would have an easier time if I drew him and recommended he wore sunglasses and a face mask instead of manually keying his face out with Blackbox. There, I essentially came up with his Sona with him and drew various talk sprites for him for free that he only ever used maybe once. We were around the same age and slowly began talking and bonding over shared mental health issues. At this time, I was undiagnosed with autism and BPD, which I have diagnosis for now, and thus was unaware of how these would affect me in the coming relationship we had and how he would most likely, without knowing, take advantage of me. So we'll talk more about the BPD and their mental health issues because I think it comes into play later on. But when they talk about how they feel like, he was taking advantage of them without knowing, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that statement, because if I just take the accuser at their word that's what was going on, it doesn't sound like Kwite would even know that that's what's going on, because they're saying that these were issues that they had which were undiagnosed at the time, and he I don't know, like he has his own mental health issues. I don't know how he's taking advantage of her. GG, Vic, like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Kwite only knows that they were trans when they were dating, at least, because they did say that they let Kwite know about their dead name whenever Kwite would have to talk to their parents or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, everything else like that's listed here after the, rape in question, is just fuel to the fire. It's like, well, he's already a piece of shit for doing this. Let's continue to snowball this into something that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if that's it, because my problem is I think that the accuser might I don't think they're a reliable narrator, in the sense that I think that they might actually believe that they were being taken advantage of, but I think it's because their perception of reality is very heavily skewed, and it comes up later in here. So I'm going to keep reading, but I think that their perception of events is skewed, and it's having them give a warped narration of what's actually happening. And maybe you think I'm like really going off the wall there, but as we read through it, I think you'll see what I'm getting at. At first, we're extremely close in ways that helped the both of us. He shared bits of his past, and I shared mine. However, slowly my status as an artist would land me in more YouTube circles than his would, and he would slowly try to encourage me to let him join in said spaces. As a friend, I, of course, want to include him in as many as I could, but as I did, and he made various connections outside of me, the relationship grew transactional. I'm not entirely sure if there's anything here to really draw from, because later on, the accuser is going to go into how, he became bigger and he stopped spending time with them. But also here, it's like, well, he was getting into all these spaces because of me. They also mention creating the whole persona, right? Like I essentially came up with this Sona because they say that they're the one who came up with the idea of the sunglasses and the mask. I don't know if that's true. Let me just say that I take them at their word. It's completely 100% true. But when they also mention this here about like getting him to other spaces, you can tell that there is. I wouldn't say it's jealousy, but this is like the bitterness of a scorned lover. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does seem like it to a degree.
A little bit.
I don't know. I don't know. This reads more like mental illness is just being supported just because.
yeah. You're gonna see that in a sec. But let's see here. Well, I won't say I was the most stable person at the time. I was not actively unkind. I cannot say the same for him. When my abandonment issues would arise, he would leave me ignored, and then when I was having the worst of my time, he would swoop in to save me and keep me under his thumb. Okay, so let me address that here, because this is where I said I don't think they're a reliable narrator. I don't think that's what was going on. They say like, oh, I would have these abandonment issues and he would ignore me and then swoop in at the end and love bomb me and put me under his thumb. And I'm like, I don't think that's what was happening. Like, I've been in these situations with people, not in quite some time, but I've been in them where it's like you're dealing with somebody and they become very kind of like manic and sort of like unhinged, and you don't know how to respond to it. You don't know how to deal with it. So you just kind of like blow them off and ignore them. And then they get worse. And so you're finally just like, well, I got to do something because I don't know how they're going to react. Like, I've been in those situations before. It's not like, oh, I want to come in at the end and swoop in and save you. It's like, man, I don't want you to off yourself. I don't want you to, self-harm. I don't want you to like do something that's going to like really fuck you up. Other than that, like I also think you're being fucking crazy, and I want to just enjoy my life, but that's like I don't. Mate, she was lying. Maybe I think that you're dealing with somebody who openly admits they have mental health issues, and well, I can certainly ascribe malice here. I think that you may just have somebody who isn't perceiving reality in the way that, the way that it actually is going on. They're seeing something else happening around them. And this is one of those things, right? I don't think he understands that they have abandonment issues. I don't think that he understands that she's going, like, I think he hooked up with somebody that's got serious mental health issues, and he wasn't really prepared to deal with the crazy. I've known plenty of guys who have hooked up with women that were literally batshit fucking insane. Okay? Batshit fucking crazy insane. Break into your house and do your laundry hoping you'll get back together. But also breaking a fucking window to get into the house. So when you tell me that you have abandonment issues and he's not spending time with you, I think the reason why he wasn't spending time with you is probably because you're getting a little bit manic and he's doing his YouTube shit. And so that's causing you to get manic. And then he comes in at the end as you get worse. I think that's probably, I just think that that's probably more likely what was going on. You were getting worse, and he would jump in as you got worse. Or at least I think it's probably more, I think it's, if you don't want to say it's more likely, I think it's just as likely at the very least. He would yell at me or act passive-aggressive towards me when being my friend was inconvenient, but love bomb me when it was just us or he needed something from me. When being my friend was inconvenient. Okay, what does this mean? Right? Like, I want to know from the accuser, why was being your friend inconvenient? Is it because of, as you stated, your mental health issues, that you have bipolar disorder? Is that what you're referring to? Like, I'm not going to shame somebody for having mental health problems. I'm not going to do it. That's why I'm not being like super mean right now. But at the same time, like, I want to know, because it sounds like the reason why he was ignoring you is because neither of these people are very old, and they started hooking up when they were teens. So it's like, I don't think he's mentally mature enough to deal with somebody who has bipolar disorder.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't sound like he has the experience, or at the very least the patience, to deal with someone with mental illness. Probably because he has some of his own, and it just overloads him too. Who knows?
Well, you have people calling this guy a rapist, okay? I mean, going beyond just calling him a rapist, like all sorts of nasty things, trying to destroy his life and everything based on their story. And I'm like, look, even if I took their story at their word, right? There's a logical explanation for what's going on here. And it's quite clearly that she has serious mental health issues, and he is not mature enough to deal with it. And there's no shame on him for that. Okay? There's no shame on him for that. There are fully grown adults who do not know how to be in a relationship with someone who has serious mental health issues. There are fully grown adults who will just get up and walk away from it because they don't know how to handle it. But then you do this to someone who is very young, a very young adult. They said, like, what, teenagers, close in age. I'm going to guess what? Early 20s at most. And you have him dealing with somebody who's got bipolar disorder and other mental health problems and abandonment issues. I think the reason why he's ignoring the accuser is straight up because he doesn't know how to deal with or process somebody who has bipolar disorder, which, believe me, most human beings that you will interact with do not know how to engage with somebody who has bipolar disorder. Like, you need to know how to handle it. And it's like, he was hooking up with them. He wanted sex. I'm going to guess, like, the only conversation they show is them talking about hooking up and being boyfriend, girlfriend.
This is the other thing. The whole bipolar disorder, that could have been what caused the event in question to even occur and make them want to say that it was rape.
Well, yeah, look, we're going to, I think it's just right down here. But yeah, I think that might be a part of it too. But when they talk about, like, being love bombed, right? I mean, what?
Can you really call that love bombing?
Well, it's like, what? You go manic, he ignores you, you get worse, so he jumps in and starts saying all these nice things to calm you down, and then you turn around and say, oh, he's love bombing me. No, it sounds like you got manic and he jumped in and said things to calm you down.
And you gave him shit for it.
Well, look, now they're giving him shit for it. I don't think that they gave him shit for it at the time. I think that that's
probably.
Here's the thing. They described it as a toxic on and off relationship and friendship. Well, look, here's the thing. If it's a toxic friendship or relationship, that means the both of you are feeding into it. So far, I've mostly only heard her criticize his behavior and say, like, well, I had my mental health issues, but I tried to be kind. Well, no, tell me what you did. Tell me why it's difficult being your friend, right? That's a difficult conversation, but, like, you're telling me all the awful things about him, but when I'm reading your story, I can fucking tell you are leaving out your part in these events.
The thing is that the BPD part of this story does throw in a legitimate fucking question about the mental health of the person accusing all of this. Because from my experience with my cousin who has it,
yeah,
it's basically an on and off basis. Like a switch just gets flipped right in the moment. It's just, they're like, completely chill 1 minute and then they go right into overdrive.
Yeah, and dude, people don't know how to deal with that. Like, people just don't know how to deal with that. No, Gigi, the event is clearly rape from the start, if true, unless you want to say her BPD was causing her to say no.
No,
well,
I'm
actually,
saying,
hold
hold on.
Yeah.
Vice, I know you're one of her supporters. You were in Sin's chat the other night. The whole problem with what you're saying here is I'm not saying that the BPD caused her to say no. What I'm saying is BPD causes someone's mind to go from yes, yes, yes to no, 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 and they have no fucking control over it unless if they can get their the chemicals in their mind in balance.
Well, here's the
Now,
other problem.
and the other problem
she's
with
undiagnosed. At this point in her story, she doesn't know she has BPD. It's undiagnosed right now.
Wait, it's undiagnosed? Then why is she bringing it up?
No. At the time these events are happening, she wasn't diagnosed with BPD. She was later diagnosed with it, but she still had it in this moment.
That's the whole thing. Like, even if it was undiagnosed at that point, it doesn't take away from the fact that she's been living with it.
No, I didn't say that it takes away from the fact that she's been living with it. I'm just saying that as far as it goes for her, right? At this time, she has BPD. She doesn't know, like, she's not diagnosed with it, and he doesn't know that she has BPD. Okay, we haven't gotten into the story of the quote unquote rape, and I'm going to say right now, I think it's clearly not what happened. Right?
Yeah, so from what she's told me just so far, yeah, it more than likely, yeah. No.
Well, here. So where was I?
Then we're dealing with a complete unknown with this situation. She's throwing in another factor.
Hold on. We'll get to it because it's right. This paragraph here. We still got a couple other things that she's accusing him of before we get to it. We'll get to it. Don't worry. He would use my memory issues against me to gaslight me about things he said, and would keep most of the conversations he had on calls or on Skype because the messages delete after a set amount of time. He would actively talk about his new friends to me when he wanted me to do something for him and took up a great amount of my time. Like, I don't understand. Like, one, there's no way of proving or disproving anything she's saying when she says about the memory issues. But here's the biggest problem. When she says, hey, I have memory issues. Okay. All right. Listen, I have someone who has bipolar disorder and has memory issues and has abandonment issues and is later on going to say that she felt she was being, well, she doesn't say she felt she was being abandoned, but she does say that as he got more popular, he stopped spending time with her, which would, again, trigger the abandonment issues. So it's like, I have someone with memory problems, BPD, and I need to take them at their word, purely at their word, on their accusation of rape in a story that sounds really fucking questionable. And you have people that have already decided that fucking Kwite is a rapist and fuck him. And I will say, I've heard he was involved in the fucking Slazo thing. So if that's the case, I guess this is karma. But at the same time, man, I look at something, I'm not going to just say, oh, he deserved it. Like, fuck.
Even though they're an asshole.
Yeah, right. He would actively talk about his new friends. Like, that to me is, I just don't understand. What did this... There are things that I think are important for her accusation that, you know, at least give you some idea of her mindset or his mindset. This sentence here, I just don't get, right? He would actively talk about his new friends to me when he wanted me to do something for him and took up a great amount of my time. I'm just wondering what that's about. Now, here's where it talks about the transphobia. And it's eventually met in real life a few times. I had transphobic parents, so I told them my dead name to use only when my parents were talking to him. But after knowing this information, he would use it as a way to belittle me. The first meeting was fine, but he had a rule that I wasn't allowed to take any pictures of him, but he was allowed to take pictures of me. After promising and begging to take a few pictures that wouldn't and still hadn't been posted for memories, he let me take a few before he left. So she says he's transphobic, right? Like he used their dead name against them as a way to like belittle them, but we don't have any messages of that ever happening. And I have
Not
to take
only
them.
that,
Yeah,
they're not. They're also they're transphobic, but they're also respecting the trans person by using their dead name when dealing with the transphobic parents.
Yes.
Like, this doesn't make sense. You're basically saying that there's two things, unless if you're going to say that he was always transphobic, but just because he was dating you, he was cool with you at that point.
I look, I don't really know if this actually happened. Maybe he did do it. Okay, maybe he did do it,
They
but
didn't
I
provide
have
any
someone.
proof.
Yeah, I don't have any proof of it. And again, you like here. Well, we got to get into this part of the story for it to really make sense. The second meeting, however, was different. We had planned to meet up while he was on vacation in my city, and thus I would pick him up in my car, and we would go to both a trampoline park and go see Black Panther. This is where the worst of his behavior occurred. At this time, we were both on and off flirting and had discussed that if we were both single at this time, we would take each other's virginity. However, once he had come on to me in the back seat of my car, I started to get cold feet. He, however, did not want to take no for an answer. So this is where I look at it and I go, I am getting very tired of this idea that okay. I've had I like he asks her, like, hey, you want to have sex? She says no. They're both virgins, okay? He apparently asks again, and she says yes. And that's rape. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. But to me, that is bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. And I don't think the accuser actually thought of it as rape either, because this is where this story really starts to piss me off, and I really start to fucking despise people. Right?
Wait,
hold on.
Let
me read.
I need
read
clarification from you, Crow. Is this
Yeah.
one of those incidents where it's just like what's their name, Ivory, all over again, where they were told something and then they just ran with it, not knowing the full context?
No, I maybe a little bit, but I think also you're dealing with somebody that just generally has issues, right? They generally have issues, and they generally despise Kwite, and you're going to find out why in a little bit. But let me read this statement for you. In the backseat of my own car, he raped me, all the while I was telling him how it hurt and how I didn't want to do this anymore. Now, look, I didn't want to do this anymore. So, look, yes, this is a situation where they did consent. And it's their first time. And it's bad. And it's painful. Neither of them know what to do. And she tells him she doesn't want to do it anymore. He kept telling me this is what you wanted, and as he went, but soon got bored of it and got out. I sat in the car by myself for a bit before going to join him in the movie, as we had planned to see together, and to make up, he had me buy him popcorn. I put the event out of my mind as just two virgins being bad at sex, because that's what it fucking sounds like. That's legitimately what it fucking sounds like. And this is the biggest problem I have. So he rapes her. Clearly he fucking rapes her.
And then makes her buy him popcorn.
And then she buys him popcorn, to apologize, put the event out of their head, says it's just bad sex, and then hangs out with him for the rest of the day, as he was still one of the closest friends. And this doesn't end with her never speaking to him again. It goes into a few months later, once he had gained quite a few more subscribers and larger YouTube friends, did he start ghosting me more and more often. If you were raped, why do you care that he is ghosting you? How is anyone taking this story seriously? I need to understand that.
Well,
I need to understand
here's the
that.
thing. It's not like Kwite is a quote unquote rapist. He's just a date rapist. That's the classification that they're going for with this story, is that it was date rape.
No. You know, these people are just brain damaged.
Well, no.
addled,
I'm just saying, like, that's the most charitable interpretation that they could ever get from anyone.
I mean, look, when they say, right? When they say that they were raped, right? But you can tell based on this right here, he did not want to take no for an answer. And then it goes, I was telling him how it hurt and I didn't want to do this anymore. He kept telling me this is what you wanted. This is where, like, I can say either two roads are possible here, because this is the story in their own words. And in their own words, this is not rape. So there's only two ways for me to think about this. Either A, it's malice, right? It is malice. They have genuine hatred for Kwite, and they are using this story to destroy him, and they are manipulating the way that they are saying it to paint him out to be this evil, vicious, mean old rapist. The other way is they have memory issues. They have bipolar disorder. They have abandonment issues. They feel like they were abandoned by Kwite, and this is causing them to remember things in a way that they did not actually occur.
Sounds like a million excuses there, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know. It's either the mental health problems, or they are knowingly lying.
Or it just sounds like they're taking all the trauma they experienced under their parents and just putting it all on Kwite because they were there for that one special moment in their life.
A few months later, once he had gained quite a few more subscribers and larger YouTube friends, did he start ghosting me more and more often, all while I was having a BPD episode. So this is what I meant earlier. Remember, they were like, oh, I would have abandonment issues and he would ignore me. And it's like, oh, he would get more and more popular and he would ignore me while I was having a BPD episode. He doesn't want to deal with your mental health crisis.
Not to mention YouTube is his job, so.
But he doesn't want to deal with the mental health crisis, and it's not on him to deal with it. Like, this is something that I really do wonder what people on Twitter are thinking here. She is saying, like, oh, I'm having a BPD episode. I want him to spend time with me.
Not to mention, at that point, she's a fully grown adult, and she should take responsibility for her own bullshit. Not
well,
Kwite.
I mean, like, you also have, right? You also have someone who is legitimately, right, has mental health problems and is telling you a story where you're relying solely on their narration, and the only screenshots that they have to show don't back up their story. It paints a different story.
Yeah, it's basically like an unreliable eyewitness in a court. It's like, were you drunk that night? Yes, I had a couple beers. Well, how can you tell if this was the person that did the crime?
She is 23, correct? I think now she's 23. At the time this all happened, I think she was 18.
Yeah, but when Kwite was taken off, she would have been 19, 20.
Yeah, no, I know. They're around the same age. She's not accusing him of being a groomer or anything like that, right? But, you know, a few months later, once he had gained quite a few more subscribers and large YouTube friends, did he start ghosting me more and more often? She said earlier in the twit longer that she's got abandonment issues. Well, if that's the case, then him blowing her off, I mean, obviously that's going to trigger it. So then when you tell me a story of, it got to the point where he called me to cut me off, and in our fight called me and I'm not going to say the word because I'll get in trouble, who thinks she's a boy and will never be. This extremely hurt me and caused me to spiral more. I almost need to be institutionalized, but thankfully for my social support system, I wasn't. I think that maybe happened, right? I don't know if it did or didn't. Okay,
Look,
but
if I'm gonna say that it did happen, that if that is the case, you got to look at the actions that led up to it. The constant fucking nagging of one person while they're trying to do their job. Like, I've blown up on my sister for doing this kind of shit to me.
And look, I
Constantly
won't say
guilt tripping me and whatnot, even though I
you
take
know,
care of her.
I won't say it's because of that. I don't think it's because of it's guilt tripping. No, I think that she has severe mental health issues. That she has bipolar disorder. He doesn't know how to deal with it.
I'm
That's
not
all.
saying it was guilt tripping. I'm just saying, like, anyone with a mental disorder or any kind of disability is going to put an enormous strain on someone who they see as a caretaker or someone as their primary go-to person for, like, support of any
Okay, yeah, no.
kind.
No, I agree. I'm looking at it. I'm going, man. It seems to me though that when they've already told us they have abandonment issues, and then they're telling us over here, hey, him raping me didn't prevent us from being friends. Actually, for a few months, we're still really close. And she's not the one that breaks things off with him in a few months. He's the one that breaks things off with her. And then we jump into how she was raped. It seems to me that based on what you told me about yourself and based on what you told me about your story, it's far more likely that him cutting her off triggered her abandonment issues, caused her to spiral, just like she said. And I don't know if it's a situation, right, where they just don't remember things properly, or if it's just, they're bitter and they're angry and they want to make him hurt. But the rest of the story here goes into how his audience harassed her. And look, man, that sounds terrible. I also don't think it does anything for your story.
Did we see any evidence of the audience doing that?
No, there was none of that either.
Okay,
maybe
so
it
it's a
happened
claim
though.
without evidence.
Maybe that happened though. I need to know if the rape actually occurred. But in the way they describe it and the details they are leaving out, it does seem more like he asked them. They said no. He asked them again. They said no. He asked them a third time. They said yes. And then during it, it hurt and they wanted to stop. And I get it. I understand it. But it's not rape. It just isn't. And the rest of the stuff in here, it sounds like the abandonment issues that you've already said you have is what led to a lot of this. Months passed, and when I tried to come out about the emotional abuse I suffered, I received harassment from his fans. I received calls to my house to tell me to kill myself, furthering my poor mental health. Eventually, however, it subsided, and through a turn of events, I was able to set up a call to reconcile with him. In this call, he tried to gaslight me further, claiming that I had led him on, or worse, assaulted him instead, all in front of a mediator who thankfully knew better than to believe him. In this call, he screamed at me, threw things and broke things, and continued to try to gaslight me. However, thanks to Danny, Lord Bung, he calmed down and apologized for some of his behavior. However, I don't believe he was sincere. This is
okay.
my problem.
I can see why he would get mad. Is because he's dealing with a one-sided moderator.
Well, look, even if the moderator is not one-sided, right? Even if the moderator is one-sided, it doesn't change my problem with this entire story. How am I supposed to take her seriously when she's claiming that she was raped, but then for 4 months stayed his closest friend, and what broke off their friendship was him cutting her off, and which sent her into an emotional spiral. Obviously, she wasn't raped. Okay?
Why would you reconcile with your rapist to begin with?
Not even reconcile with the rapist. Why would him cutting her off send her into an emotional spiral if he fucking raped her?
Yeah, that doesn't add up either. Like,
oh my god, yes, thank you. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. And it's not like she's accusing him of mentally manipulating her into having sex with him.
And that's the funny part all about
and
this.
being her own messages. She's messaging with him saying like, "Who can I tell we're dating?" Like, come on, come the fuck on. And this is their second meeting. This is their second meeting. They were boyfriend girlfriend. This is their second time that they met.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, this is the other thing, Crow. What I'm seeing here is a constant back and forth where she keeps coming back to reconcile. He gets more pissed off about it. It's like you're annoying the fuck out of him, and you know you're going to annoy the fuck out of him by doing this shit. It's like it doesn't seem like the abuse is all on your side. It seems like you're trying to get even with him by constantly chip away at him with this sensitive subject of your first time.
And the other problem is she goes like, "Oh, well, I set up a call to reconcile things with him, and he apologized for some of the stuff, but I don't think he was being sincere. So here's my twit longer." No. I think something triggered this. I think that she's probably had another episode.
Or she just wants to get even yet again, just constantly.
Maybe.
I mean, she has memory issues. I mean,
I
how
don't
do we
think
know?
I don't think that she is ready to let him go and let him lead a life without her.
She's like, I won't let you live without me.
Oh man, that whole thing.
I will hold you to the end of your days.
Dude, this whole thing is just fucked. I can't take any of these people seriously. Let's
I mean, it's commentary. Let's be
this
honest.
doesn't look
Can you ever
like
take them
Kwite the
seriously?
rapist. It looks like the possessive ex of Kwite.
Yeah, let's see here. This fucking shit is why victims are too scared to step forward. These Kwite allegations seem so stupid because they are. The key thing in the person's thread was that they had BPD. Well, yes, they mentioned it multiple times. They could just be doing this to get back at him. Well, they did mention that they're upset about their abandonment issues. Kwite does not at all seem like someone who would rape anyone. Maybe, I have no idea. Until shit is confirmed, he's staying one of my favorite YouTubers.
I mean, that's...
Guys, well, he was accused of rape. He can't be your favorite YouTuber anymore. There's an accusation on the table with no evidence.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not...
Guys, Michael Jackson was accused of being a pedophile. He can't be your favorite music artist.
Yeah.
But, like, this fucking shit is why victims are too scared to step forward. Well, what do you mean? They didn't step forward. They didn't go to the cops. They put their accusations out on social media. And I see every post they make has a ton of likes around it. And they go on about how people don't believe them. And I go like, I can't, man. I really can't. I just don't. Like, at this point, I know when I am being fucked with. I know when somebody is trying to emotionally manipulate me into feeling a certain way and giving a certain response, and I'm just not gonna fucking do it.
Tell me something, Crow. Compared to Amaranth and her quote unquote husband, which is worse, this one or that one?
Okay, well, the Amaranth husband story is really stupid.
Yeah, it's like they're both really stupid. But
1 out of 10 for stupid, or 1 out of 10 for just bad.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing: the Amaranth husband situation, I think, is more of a situation of she's about to divorce her husband. He can take her for all the money she's got, right? Because she's obviously the breadwinner. And so she puts out the story in order to get ahead of it coming out that she's got a husband and she's been lying to her audience the entire time. This person, I'm like, there's two ways of looking at it. One,
is this more comparable to when Amaranth lied about Anime Matsuri?
I would say so. I would think.
Because this person's accusing Kwite of being a rapist, and Amaranth was accusing the owner or proprietor or the guy who runs it of being a pedophile.
Yeah, and it doesn't exactly add up either.
She'll eventually come back with that story. Just you wait.
Yeah,
just you wait.
Just wait until Matsuri comes around. She'll come back to it.
Okay, but like, look at this shit, right? This and look, I know this is just one of the tweets I was cycling through on when I looked up Kwite. But I know a lot of fuckers are gonna say, "Where is the evidence?" But if you support Kwite, fucking unfollow me. He did not only abuse this victim, but raped and gaslit him, and motherfuckers are going to try to say that Kwite is innocent. But there's no evidence. Like that's the thing. There's no fucking evidence for any of it.
I made a joke in Sin's chat the other night. It's like, believe all victims. Okay, let's get to hanging these rapists who are of a different color to us.
I mean,
that's what they're basically doing. It's no different. It's the same mob mentality. It's the same fucking, hanging of people. It's fucking bullshit at this point.
I know. Is there really anything that you can really do about this though? At the end of the day, you have people that just want to go pedo hunting, and you have people that just want to like tear people down, destroy them, knock them. Like I don't even know this Kwite guy. I don't think many of the people talking about this situation really watch his content either. I'm not saying like they don't. I just mean I think you have a lot of people that just look at the next guy to tear down. Oh look, he's abused women. Oh look, he's a rapist. Oh look, he's a pedophile.
Well, most of Kwite's content is middle of the road, like generic big YouTuber stuff. It's nothing too special from what I've seen.
Do you think that matters?
I think it does because like that's what generated the numbers.
How many subscribers does he have?
Over 1 million.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's earlier, 1.85 million.
Yeah, so there you go.
Almost 2 million.
That is why you go after him. That's why you cancel him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got plenty of clout. So if you're a part of that movement that's destroying him, you're part of a very big movement.
There was also another thing that they were saying in their Twitter space that the evidence of all this stuff was on a deleted Discord account. Well, you deleted your only evidence. We have to take your word that account even existed. And somehow Kwite was able to
screenshots.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like then we have to take your word that Kwite was able to figure you out from a new Discord account before he interacted with you for the second time. Like it makes no sense at this point. Like your evidence is down the toilet. There was no evidence of a rape because there was no rape kit. There was no police called. You basically stayed with him and bought him popcorn. It's
After you were raped, you bought him popcorn and then you hung out for another few months, and then you didn't break things off. He broke things off.
Oh, and not to mention, like, was it just the one time that they had, intercourse, or is it, after that one bad instance, it was done?
Here's my problem. Okay, based on their messages, I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. Based on their timeline, I don't know.
Because if it comes out that they constantly, were hooking up afterwards, then this is complete bullshit in my book.
There's a message that he sends them where he's like, hold on, let me pull it up. Because he says something like coming on the sheets. And let's go into it. Because the thing is, if they only had one sex one time and it was rape, like
what makes all the other instances?
I don't know. Like, were they having sex other times? Because over here, right? Required. Also, what are your family doing while we hang? Because if they are out, hotel room empty. We'll see. Come on sheets. No good, bro. So did this take place after the supposed rape? Where she's like saying, "Hey, I've got an empty hotel room."
Yeah, that's dated in 2018 when this all happened. I believe it was in 2017, correct?
I don't know when the rape occurred.
Because I remember someone saying
alleged
that it happened
rape,
in
sorry.
2017. So,
well, okay. So here's the problem: if the rape happened in 2017, and the messages that they provide, you can actually, let me tweet that, okay? Let me tweet that. I'll ask the Twitters if they can sort this out for me.
Yeah.
Because they had been dating for what, 7+ years? If you go back 6 years, that would be, that'd be 2017.
Okay, so hold on. Let's see. How are we going to type this out just so we get to everybody? Hey, so when did Kwite?
I mean, that's the thing about all of this. It's just, if this happened when they were 17 and they were hooking up for the first time, apparently it wasn't so bad because they're
What is the
re-engaging for
accuser's
another.
name? What's the accuser's name?
I've
been calling them the accuser the entire time.
It's right there on your thumbnail, I think.
No, it's not. Maybe it is. I don't have the thumbnail pulled up.
It says.
Oh, I see it here. Vriska, Nias Putin.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, is that actually their name? Okay.
I don't know.
When did Kwite rape this person? Was it 2017
or 2018? And be specific about the month.
Yeah, because it's saying there 2018.
February of 2018, it seems.
Can we please?
Rudo says it's Orion.
Yeah, seems to be another contradiction when I think about it.
Can we please be specific about the month?
And
because, I said, was it 2017, 2018? We please look out the month because their very own messages show them hinting at an empty hotel room,
not the back seat of a car.
Not the back seat of a car. And not on a trip to see
a movie.
No, not a movie. All right, stop. Because their very own message showed them hinting. Well, this is a trip. Look. This is a completely different event.
Yeah, this basically. After the first instance, this is why I said they were trying to go for the date rape angle, because you could still accuse someone of date rape for one instance and then being considered a rapist. But every other, quote unquote consensual act is basically a fucking gray area at that point. Because the instance of when they lost their virginity, that's the rape incident. Every other sexual incident after it, it seems like, if this is a legit screenshot, was consensual and that no rape had occurred.
Yeah, I want to know, okay? Like, I want to know, guys, if you can spread this around, I want an answer to the question. And I know I'm going to get heat for even asking it, but when did, if Kwite raped him in 2017, why are they talking about hooking up? Like, people are actually victims of these crimes. Hold on. People are actually victims of these crimes, okay? You're actually going to tell me that you know someone who has been raped, and they then kept being super close friends with their rapist and became very upset and mad when their rapist wanted to stop talking to them. Like, come the fuck on. Who gets raped and then plans to keep hooking up with their rapist? Not meeting up, but literally hooking up and fucking. But they were raped. Come on. Like, seriously, come the fuck on. You want people to believe women when they make these fucking claims? Then when you see someone make a fucking claim like this, you need to fucking criticize it. You need to call it out. You need to shame them so they stop fucking lying. And then when those people show up and go, oh, you just want to keep victims silent. No, I fucking don't. I want to keep fucking liars exposed. Motherfucker. I don't even care if it's their mental health that's causing them to just warp reality to this fucking level. Enough is fucking enough. Seriously, explain it to me. What is Sen linking in the chat?
It's his tweet.
Is it a funny tweet?
I don't know. I think it's related to what we're talking about.
Hold on. Send. Send.
Well, that's funny, of course. Ask for evidence gets blocked immediately.
I know like multiple people have asked this person to provide evidence, but they won't do it. And at this point,
What's wrong with providing evidence? That's the question.
Well, see, here's my problem. You've had days at this point, so if you do suddenly produce a screenshot, you know everyone's going to think it's fake. I mean, at this point, just show the stuff up front. I don't get it.
I mean, that's the other thing. Is like, even if it did go to the point, it's not like he continued. He gave up and he went in and started pouting in the movie theater. She followed after, and then they settled on a deal with popcorn.
I mean, like, and then they had sex again?
Yeah,
if you read,
apparently
like,
a hotel room was involved.
It's their message. It's their fucking message, right? Like, I didn't produce this screenshot. Fucking the guy like Kwite didn't produce the screenshot. They provided the screenshot.
Also, why are they blocking out their name and profile picture? I mean, for fuck's sake,
know, man. I don't fucking know.
Like, you want to provide authenticity of a screenshot. You don't do that kind of shit unless you're trying to pull something.
Well, look, maybe their name and screenshot would show that they were an account that they don't want to be associated with anymore. I don't know.
You mean a deleted account? Because apparently this is from 2018. Where's that old deleted account?
I don't know. That's the thing. The accuser has not provided us with any actual evidence. But it doesn't matter. They're canceling this guy, right? And I had someone going like, he's not being canceled. He's being exposed for rape. I'm like, hey, wait, so he's being exposed with nothing? Someone came forward and said he raped them with nothing? And then you went after him, and now he's like losing subs and everything? Yeah, that would be being canceled. You go after somebody with literally no evidence, and it's working. Man, like, that's just fucked. You know, if Kwite's really like a left-wing guy, like a lefty person, like, live by the sword, get fucking impaled up your ass with it.
According to Chosen, he understands him as a libertarian, so who knows?
Well, sucks to suck. I don't know what to say, man. Fucking, like, man up and, like, respond to it, though. Or produce content. You gotta do
that,
one or
or
the
just
other.
joke about it. Because at the end of the day, if this is a cancel attempt, you might as well go all in.
I mean, look, this whole claim is really dumb, though. I can't take it seriously. The accuser is not being honest, and they're clearly willing to hide. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
And anyone who does take it seriously is probably stupid too.
Yeah. I don't have too much more to go over on this one. This drama is really dumb. I don't think Kwite should be afraid of talking, but you know, it's up to him, I guess. I've gotten like no sleep the last few nights. I think I'm gonna head to bed. Nick, Evan, what do you got to say?
Have you been playing too much Hogwarts Legacy, Crow?
Oh my god, way too much Hogwarts Legacy.
I feel that, dude. I've been trying to upload my Let's Play through of it from my recordings on my Let's Play channel for it. The only thing is that Sony Vegas is a bitch that takes forever to render the part.
I have 61 hours in the game, and I'm not even halfway through the story.
God damn! Have you been doing all the side quests?
I'm doing all the side quests.
Oh, by the way, what was your character's name again?
Oh, you're gonna love it. My character's name is Crow.
Cool name.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the last name?
Cypher.
Cool. I decided to name.
Well, it's two things. One, like Lucifer, Crowcifer, right? And also like Ulquiorra and Bleach. Yep.
Nice. Nice tribute. I literally just decided to take mine to Spanish roots, have myself tan like I am in real life, and just name mine's Victor Guardiola.
That's actually good.
Yeah.
Dude, some of the names are actually really funny that people have put up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I chose Gryffindor too, of course.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
GG. If you were a Hogwarts person, which house do you want to sleep in?
My house, Crow. My house.
He'd be Hagrid.
Well, I am 6'2", so I'd be considered a giant.
No, I mean,
wait. Somebody DM me something on Twitter. Hold on. I don't know if it's important or not.
Yeah, I could see you as a Hagrid GG, to be honest. He's the guy that will pull up out of nowhere when you need him.
I'll be
You're a wizard, Harry.
Some interesting things you might want to look at concerning the Kwite allegations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you sending them to me late? Yeah, send them to me tonight. I'll take a look at them. All right, guys, we're going to bed. Good night. Get some rest.
Peace.
Play plenty of Hogwarts Legacy.
Night, night.
Night.